Hello, I am back with lesson number 47. We are going to be talking about Delilah. I know I have taught on Samson and Delilah before, but she is mentioned as being one of the bad women in the Bible, so I figured it didn't hurt to go over her again. We're going to be reading from Judges chapter 16, verses 1 through 22, and then we're going to be reading the bottom of the notes in the Bible. So this is going to be a little bit of a long one, bear with me. Then went Samson to Gaza, and saw there a harlot, and went in unto her. And it was told the Gazites, saying, Samson is come hither. And they compassed him in, and laid wait for him all night in the gate of the city, and were quiet all that night, saying, in the morning, when it is day, we shall kill him. And Samson lay till midnight, and arose at midnight, and took the doors of the gate of the city, and the two posts, and went away with them, bar and all, and put them upon his shoulders, and carried them up to the top of an hill that is before Hebron. And it came to pass afterward that he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah. And the lords of the Philistines came up unto her, and said unto her, Entice him, see wherein his great strength lieth, and by what means we may prevail against him, that we may bind him to afflict him, and we will give thee every one of us 1,100 pieces of silver. And Delilah said to Samson, Tell me, I pray thee, wherein thy great strength lieth, and wherewith thou mightest be bound to afflict thee. And Samson said unto her, If they bind me with 7 green withs that were never dried, then shall I be weak, and be as another man. Then the lords of the Philistines brought up to her 7 green withs which had not been dried, and she bound him with them. Now therewith were men lying in wait, abiding with her in the chamber. And she said unto him, The Philistines be upon us, Samson, and he brake the withs, as a thread of tow is broken when it toucheth the fire. So his strength was not known. And Delilah said unto Samson, Behold, thou hast mocked me, and told me lies. Now tell me, I pray thee, wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, If they bind me fast with new ropes, and never were occupied, then shall I be weak, and be as another man. Delilah therefore took new ropes, and bound him therewith, and said unto him, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And there were liars in wait, abiding in the chamber, and he brake them from his arms like a thread. And Delilah said unto Samson, Hitherto thou hast mocked me, and told me lies. Tell me wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, If thou weavest the 7 locks of my head with the web. And she fastened it with the pin, and said unto him, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awakened out of his sleep, and went away with the pin of the beam, and with the web. And she said unto him, How canst thou say, I love thee, when thine heart is not with me? Thou hast mocked me these 3 times, and hast not told me wherein thy great strength lieth. And it came to pass, when she pressed him daily with her words, and urged him so that his soul was vexed unto death, that he told her all his heart, and said unto her, There hath not come a razor unto mine head, for I have been a Nazarite unto God from my mother's womb. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak, and be like any other man. And when Delilah saw that he had told her all of his heart, she sent and called for the lords of the Philistines, saying, Come up this once, for he hath shewed me all his heart. Then the lords of the Philistines came up unto her, and brought money in her hand. And she made him sleep upon her knees, and she called for a man, and caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head. And she began to afflict him, and strength went from him, And she said, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awoke out of his sleep and said, I will go out as other times before and shake myself. And he wist not that the Lord was departed from him, but the Philistines took him, and put out his eyes, and brought him down to Gaza, and bound him with fetters of brass, and he did grind to the prison house. Howbeit the hair of his head began to grow again after he was shaven. Okay. In our bottom notes, let's see. Judges 15 concludes the story of deliverance in the book of Judges concludes with judgment of Israel for many years. The first years of okay. We read 16, 1 through 22, so. Okay, the first verses of Judges 16 begins with the same pattern, established back in chapter 2, verses 16 and 17. Samson is being led by his lust, just as Israel had been by theirs. Samson goes deep into the Philistine territory where he sleeps with the harlot. When he finds out that he is going to be attacked, he thwarts the attack's plans with a primitive strike. He picks up gates of the city and puts them where Hebron can see that God's is ripe for the picking. Samson continues to forsake his calling and his vows. Delilah will be the one who betrays him this time. She turns him over for silver. Samson has fun ridiculing the Philistines' belief in magic, but we also see Samson playing around with his vow. He mentions the number 7 and later mentions his hair. Samson does not need to fear magic, but he does need to fear compromise, and Delilah playfully pouts and seduces her way to the truth. Samson's focus is primarily upon his lusts, as he has lulled himself into thinking he is invincible. Giving into Delilah's vexing, Samson tells her that if his hair is shaven, he will lose his strength. Like Israel, Samson chases the other lovers, taking God's grace as license for any sin that pleases him. And like Israel, Samson is sent to exile. This verse, which it says 16:22, it's the last verse we read, it says this verse mentions that Samson's hair is growing back. This is a sign of the stupidity of the Philistines, and also a sign of Samson's strength returning. Like I said, we went over the story of Samson and Delilah before. You can look back if you want to, because I think I went in more depth with it in one of the earlier lessons, but it'll be on here if you want to look. Meaning of the name Delilah. It's an ancient name of Hebrew and Arabic origins. In both origins, it means delicate. And then I figured this went along with this lesson good. It says, with every test and trial, there is an opportunity to testify that our God is greater. That is our lesson for this week. I might quit saying week eventually. That is our lesson for today. I will be back with our next lesson in a few days. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment if you would like. I love you all, and I will see you soon. Bye.